In this lesson, we'll cover area reinforcement. It's a method to place rebar across the vast area of a floor. So to do this, let's go to the Structure tab on your ribbon. In the reinforcement area, click Area. Revit will then ask you to select a floor or wall for this area placement of rebar. Go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to place this in the lower wing of this building. But I'm going to mouse over the floor and select the floor. That tells Revit that the rebar we're adding now in an area is going to be bound or hosted in this floor. Now the ribbon changes, and on the very right of the ribbon, we have our draw area. Rebar line is selected. I'm going to use the actual rectangle technique to create this rectangular shape, or box, if you will, for which my rebar will sit within. Now, one thing you may want to do is set an offset, especially if you're picking walls or outer boundaries, because certain rebar has certain criteria of what the offset should be from an edge. So in this example here, I'm just going to type an offset in of 1. Now that may be different depending on the type of rebar you're using. Now with the offset set, I'm going to zoom in and click in the upper right corner of the floor. Once I click, I'm going to start to drag my mouse to the left. And then I'm going to click on the inside corner of the lower left. And that draws a rectangular box. That box is offset from the outer edge 1 unit. Now there's also a major direction icon on the ribbon. This icon is indicated by the 2 lines by the major line. And I can see that where my mouse is at right now. This indicates the direction of the rebar. If I want my rebar to flow in the other direction, simply choose Major Direction and choose one of the other magenta lines. I'm going to pick the one on the right. This then sets the direction layout for my rebar. If you want to change the rebar type, in the property area on the left, I can scroll down to the major bar type. Mine currently reads 19M. I could change this to, let's say, 13M and click Apply. Last step is to simply click the green check mark. This will finish the editing mode. If you're tagging by default, it'll produce the actual area tag for this placement. And I see the symbol placed as well for this area reinforcement. Selecting it will show the properties on the left of the tag. And if you select the area reinforcement, you have the properties for it as well that you can again modify. Click in the background to deselect. To edit the boundary, select the actual area reinforcement, and you can choose Edit Boundary on the right side of the ribbon. Click in the background to deselect again. So as a review, in this lesson, we looked at area reinforcement. Area reinforcement is a way to actually place large amounts of rebar over a large area, such as in a floor or a wall. To use the command, you start by selecting a floor, then define the boundary, set your properties for the type of rebar, set your major direction of how the rebar will be laid out, and then simply complete the command to draw the area that will be filled with rebar.